we're glad to know that you're still there and watching the breakfast. Our topic this time is petrol price drop expected to benefit consumers, says Rewane. That's Bismarck Rewane, Managing Director of Financial Derivatives Company. He predicts that petrol prices will continue to decrease until June 2025. He explained that the ongoing price war between Dangote Refinery and NNPCL would benefit consumers in the short term, with prices dropping steadily until mid-year. Rewane stated that after June, petrol prices may stabilize depending on global oil and currency market conditions. He emphasized that while no one wins in a price war, the consumers are the primary beneficiaries as the market will eventually return to normal after the short-term drop. In line with the price reduction, Dangote Refinery announced a new petrol price ranging from 860 naira to 895 naira per liter depending on the region. NNPCL followed suit, reducing its pump price to 860 naira per liter across its stations in Lagos State. Our guest this morning is Mr. Agule, who is an energy expert. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Agule.
Good morning, Mr. Nyangul, and good morning to our viewers globally.
Well, people are calling it price war. What is happening between NNPCL and Dangote? What do you call it?
I will also call it a price war. And for me, I think the war should continue, unlike the war in Ukraine and Russia, which we all want to end. For us consumers, this is the kind of war that we even want to intensify. Unfortunately, Dangote is in a dominant position because he's got a 650,000 barrels capacity refinery right there in Lekki in Lagos. The NNPCL is actually the weaker of the parties because the NNPCL has got 4 refineries with combined capacity of 445,000 barrels per day. However, the operational capability of these refineries is in doubt. As we stand today, it says 2 of the refineries are working, but to what capacity we don't know. There is controversy whether the refineries are actually capable of refining premium motor spirit, which is petrol, which is the most popular fuel that we use. And NNPCL, I think, is also depending on imports. So that doesn't put it in a strong position compared to Dangote. But bottom line is that there has to be competition. This is what we have always said, that without competition, Dangote is not going to give us fair pricing. So the NNPCL must continue on their game. However, the important question of what happens to our 4 refineries must be answered. And the person to give us that answer is President Tinubu.
Yes, okay, but we don't know. Is Dangote that initiates the price reduction? Dangote that is a private person. He cuts the prices and then NNPCL follows suit. And I don't know how that is something that gives us the mindset that he will be afraid of competition. It's like he dictates the market. He is the one who decides whether the price should drop or not. So I don't know if that is much of a competition in the first place.
Well, it is a competition because on a normal day, a businessman is not going to cut down on his profits because he's not running a charity. The only reason that he reduces price is to try and take the market from the competitors. So if Dangote feels that I have stock of petroleum products which I am not moving out as much as I would want, he can fight for market share because as we speak today, the NNPCL has also got some market share. So in fact, Dangote can continue to reduce prices to push the NNPCL or any other competitor out of the market so that he can take the market. Let's not forget that Dangote is refining 650,000 barrels per day. And when the products are refined, they are kept in storage tanks waiting for off-takers. And if Dangote discovers that his storage tanks are filling up and off-takers are not taking the products as much as we want, he might initiate a price war to be able to take the market, because if his storage tanks are now filled up, he will have to shut down the refinery because there will be nowhere to store the products once they are refined. So yes, he's in a dominant market. That is why he can lead the war. But obviously, he's cutting the prices to be able to take a greater share of the market.
Okay, but how sure are we that this price war, or yes, is going to benefit us in the long run? We've seen wars like this, in quote, happening in Nigeria. After that, it's as if those two elephants just made peace with themselves, and the grass that had suffered continues to suffer in that regard. Let me give you two instances. First of all, is the aviation sector, where the prices became so high that we felt that no Nigerian can travel abroad anymore. And then a local airline came and said, you know what, I can do this with half of that price, or at least 75% of the price that other airlines are charging. As soon as the other airlines saw this, they dropped their own to like half of the price they were charging. So this is possible. Okay, we saw it as something, a war that will benefit the people. Now it's as if all of them are at the same level, and the people are still suffering. Another one is when we had service providers say that you cannot do pay second billing or pay as you go or something. And then a local service provider also came and said, in the telecommunications sector, that is, came and said, okay, I can do this per second billing, and everybody followed suit. But even now, data and airtime is almost unaffordable. So which means they have made peace with themselves. That war was just something else, and now they have decided to be on the same page. So how is this going to benefit us in the long run if at the end of the day these people will make peace with themselves and then still make Nigerians suffer?
You raise very valid questions, and that is the role of regulators. Regulators are to ensure that providers, be they of goods or services, don't collude with each other and racketeer the price at the detriment of the consumer. So Nigerian regulatory agencies, they need to raise their game. Like you talked about telecoms, the regulator is the Nigerian Communications Commission, the NCC, and they were talking about petroleum products. The regulator is the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. And so these regulators must be up to their game. They must have staff who are well trained, staff who know even better than what the operators in the industry themselves know, so that they can ensure that consumers' interests are protected at any time. But coming back specifically to the seeming price war in the petroleum sector, of course, when you get into a new sector and you want to enter that sector, you may decide to cut your prices even below your production cost, so that people will look at you and say, okay, because of the price, they will be attracted to come to you. And then when you now begin to take market share, you can now begin to restore your price to be able to recover your losses. That's another strategy that producers of goods and services can take. But when it comes to petroleum products, the biggest input cost into a liter of petrol or diesel or whatever petroleum product that is crude oil, right? So the cost of crude oil determines how much eventually, whether Dangote or NNPC or whoever is going to be able to reduce their prices. Otherwise, they will get into lost territory. And as we speak today, because of the events happening around the world, particularly the imposition of tariffs and counter-imposition of tariffs between the United States and her major trading partners, which is their neighbors to the south, Mexico to the north, Canada and China, the global markets have responded with negativity, because of course they believe that it's going to impact on business. So as of yesterday, crude oil prices kept crashing from as high as the $85 mark they were a few weeks ago to less than $70 yesterday. And it is expected that Dangote Refinery should transfer this savings in terms of cost that they are making on buying crude oil into the eventual prices that we are going to be paying at the pumps. But they can only do that if they are facing competition. So for us, I don't think the competition is even enough for Dangote Refinery. The main competition to Dangote Refinery is going to be our 445,000 barrels capacity refineries. And that is why it is very urgent, a matter of urgent public interest for President Tinubu to address these 445,000 barrels capacity refineries that are lying wasted as we even speak now.
Okay, the thing is, petrol price drop expected to benefit consumers, says Rewane. That's what we're talking about. They're saying it's expected to benefit consumers. Like I was saying earlier with another guest, the consumers may not even be benefiting that much right now. It's not showing so much. Consumers that I'm talking about are the common Nigerians that may not have a car, may not have a generator, but they have to go on a bus or in a car all the time. And because of that, goods and services are affected in so many ways, crazy ways. Now, Dangote reduced its price from 1,000, let's say, to now it's 860 or thereabouts and all that. The price that is being charged on buses that are going inter and intrastate are still the same or even higher right now. So what can be done to regulate this? Because a lot of the Nigerian economy depends on this transportation system. What can be done so that these people will also reflect the eased burden in the prices of petroleum on their fares as transporters? What can be